Alright, what's going on, everybody? Just trying to get set up. Thought I was having some technical difficulties, but it seems we're all good. So I randomly the other night came across this little setup for hopefully I can do some watercolor painting here live. We're gonna have to see how it goes. So this is kind of just a test run for the first time. But I don't want to spend too long on here today, maybe an hour, 30-minute sketch or something, and then 20 or 30-minute Q&A, and then I'm going to go outside and do some painting. So this is kind of a warm-up. But what's going on, everybody? Nobody in the chat. This is a great sign. All right. Let's just get into the painting, I guess. I don't want to waste any time. There we go. So I'm going to paint this waterfall from the Alaska trip that I took back in May. This was a pretty cool waterfall. So I'm going to start off sketching it here. I'm going to start with the water line here because that's something that's easy for me to put in, and I know it's going to be correct. So hopefully this is working and it's not too laggy or anything, but that'll be the test. I might actually design this waterfall a little bit more than what it actually is, but it's a little boring because it's just straight down, so I might give it a little more, as it goes up here, I'll give it a little more curve or something. Yeah, this part's gonna be light because I don't want to put the lines in too dark. Is there anybody in the chat yet? Or is it just me, right?
So far,
alright. Guess I have, I don't know what's up with the chat here. It's very bizarre. I've never had a chat where there's no one saying anything, but that's cool, man. That's alright. I'll just, we can do questions and stuff later if you guys want. This is kind of just a test for my watercolor painting anyway, so as long as I have some people watching, I'm cool with it. So I'm trying to design it a little bit more, so I'm kind of breaking it up rather than it being one long shape, and just see how that goes. So I'm just trying to design some of these rock shapes. Alright, is there any living people out there watching me? Is anyone alive? 44 people. But no one's alive. Does anyone speak language out there? I'm just curious. Anyway, let's get back to it. I'll just keep going, man. If this is working, I just want to know that it's working. No, I know that. I just want to know that it's actually.
Yeah, at least over here you're not
like, I don't know if something's wrong with the chat and no one's typing, or if I'm not seeing the chat. Alright. Just making sure I don't have technical difficulties here. Yeah, we just got quiet folks today. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't usually comment much myself anyway on other people's stuff, so. I'm trying to go through this sketch kind of quickly because I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time, but I want to take note of the kind of the darkest areas. And these rock shapes are going to be difficult, so just take a note of that. Alright, I think I can move into the painting now. My sister just texted me, said it's all working. So, alright, we just got quiet folks, man, that's cool. Alright, my people. Actually, the waterfall actually goes up this way. At the top here, makes a little triangle. Yeah, I'm not sure how I'm gonna do this part. Alright, I'm gonna get into the painting now. I mean, most people, this stage might take you a lot longer, especially when you're first starting out and drawing and stuff. Like, I don't know, I've been drawing my whole life for the most part, so a quick sketch like this, just like a line drawing, I can do pretty quickly usually, especially for landscapes because it doesn't have to be perfect or anything. So okay, now everybody's talking at once. Okay, it must have been, I don't know if it was like a lag or something, but now it's just like a mountain of people talking. Alright, cool.
Oh, Jesus.
Right?
I think you just had lag.
I think I might have had a lag in the chat there. I apologize, folks. I don't know if that was a YouTube thing or... I don't know, the video seemed to be working on my end, but the chat just like... was taking forever. Alright, so I'm mixing up some colors here. I wish I had another camera, but... maybe I can hold this palette and paint or something. I don't know. This is all new. But I'll show you a little bit of some of the color mixing I do. So I'm going to hit the water first, I think, at the bottom. So I'm starting out with just Viridian and Phthalo Blue, kind of a really strong mixture. And yeah, we're going to see how that works. It's all just theory, right? I mean, whoa, that didn't work. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go through the chat later or something, but I'm just...
I can see if it comes up, I can read you some questions.
yeah. Alright, so I wanna... you know, when you're doing like a flat color like this, or when I am, let me speak that way. When I'm doing like a flat, it's mostly just blue, you know, it's down here, it's this turquoise color. I try to paint it in kind of very... you know, painterly way. I try not to just make it a big flat area because it can get boring really quickly. I'm gonna add in a touch of red right on the edge here just to kind of darken it as it goes to the edges. And I'm gonna just let that bleed out, I think, a little bit. Type of pencil was I using? An H. I usually use like an H, HB, just for the initial sketch there. I'm going to soften some of this. So the beginning here, I mean, this is just the first layer, so like I can always, once this dries, I can go back over it and, you know, in some areas I can redefine certain things. So next I'm going to hit the rocks because those are that's like the biggest area of gray, but it's actually purple. That's how I'm going to treat it anyway. And I'm gonna mix up some color here again. Try this again, just to keep it interesting. So this is Phthalo Blue. So I try to start out with really strong mixtures with the watercolor, because they tend to get duller, I think, once you put them down. So I'm gonna hit the magenta up here, mix that in. So that's probably the strongest purple I can mix, and basically to just gray it down I can use some yellow ochre, I can use black, ivory black, but I'm not going to gray it down just yet. And I may use some of this Viridian mixture in the rocks as well, and that kind of helps harmonize everything. So I'm going to see what this purple is going to do. Okay, so it's already pretty gray. And now I can tweak that, add some magenta in there. That's pretty strong. Basically with these sketches I just try to have fun. I try to do that with everything. But especially with these, like, you can be really loose with the color and the brush work, and it is pretty challenging. And I'm trying not to get too detailed. I'm trying to think in big shapes. So add more magenta to this side, maybe some Viridian over here. You know, this is where you get a lot of variety of color and stuff, and hopefully it shows through in the end, the final result. So I'm being very careful not to go into my waterfall there, because that's what I want to preserve. There's some rocks up there. So you can see how quick these sketches can go, especially in plein air. Like, got to go really quickly, especially if the light changes very quickly. You know, for a scene like this, I'd be, this is an overcast scene, so you'd have a lot more time because the light won't change very quickly at all. Alright. So let's see, the water down here is pretty much dry already for the most part. I'm going to hit the grasses up here and kind of hopefully blend some of the rocks and grasses together. So that's basically like yellow ochre and Viridian, cadmium yellow, medium or lemon. And you know, I've realized, like, with the colors I don't have to be so precise with the color mixing. You just kind of get something close, because the magic comes in where you have that variety of color, kind of like the last stage that I just did, all that, you know, just the variety in different mixtures. So you want some stronger yellow, a little bit of green and reds in there, and I just vary it as I put the paint down. So now as I move across, I clean the brush a bit, and now I'm going to make the color a little bit more red. So it goes over here, add some of that. And I just hope that this is going to turn out right. That's always the thing, you never really know. Just trying to focus here a bit. So obviously my color here is a lot stronger than what's, you know, in the photo reference. But I'm just having some fun with it.
Say goodnight to Wendy.
Hmm?
Good night to Wendy. Say goodnight to Wendy.
Good night to Wendy?
Yeah.
Good night, Wendy. Apparently Wendy has to leave. But thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. So now everything, let's see. You know, it's starting to come together. Now I have this, you know, this is the lightest area. Next I'm going to move into some of the darker areas down in the rocks mostly, and that's where it's going to, this thing's going to start popping. Maybe some darker bits down in the water. And I'm going to move to the smaller brush here. It's a round brush. The other one I was using was kind of a, that's the one I do the first layer in. And now I'm just taking a clean damp brush. I'm just going to try to get some variety of like value in there. Just kind of wipe off some areas just to lighten things up. I know it looks pretty chaotic right now, but I think it's gonna come together. You know, I was doing some plein air yesterday and I got to a point where in the painting, and I was just like thinking like, this is the point in the painting where I start doubting it and I wonder if it's even gonna come out decent at all. And I think a lot of paintings I do, I get to that stage, and I think it happens to a lot of painters and beginners too. You know, they would get to this stage and go, I don't think it's going to turn out, but you just got to keep moving forward with it. But I want to make sure this is all dry, because if you go on something that's damp, it's not really gonna work out. So I think I may be able to hit the water again in just a minute here, or at least down by the water, some of the rocks. But I'm going to take a second here. I'm going to look at the chat and just see what's happening. Okay. I don't know that it's... I don't think it's been updating for me.
I'm using my phone. It's not working on our internet.
Yeah.
I think it's all the bandwidth is going
I can't...
to streaming.
Yeah, but I've never had a problem with the chat now. But yeah, I can't look at it on my phone because I'm using... the camera I'm using for this is my phone, so it's a little remote controlled type thing. But for some reason the chat is lagging on the desktop, unfortunately, folks. So my girlfriend's responding to stuff, but I can't look at it.
Lisa sees a giant bird coming out of a really cool sky.
In my painting?
I guess so.
Oh, I see. Is this like the head of the bird, maybe? I don't know. All right. Well, if there's no questions or anything, I just wanted to like fill up some time here when I'm waiting for this to dry.
But if you guys have questions, type them and I will read them to them.
I don't think they can hear you, but yeah, if you have any questions, just type them in the chat, and my girlfriend will read them to me, and I'll respond as I'm working here.
Where do they find my vlogs?
We're just testing out. This is kind of a test, Sunday quick test. I didn't really know if this whole painting thing was going to work, but it seems to work pretty well. And for those who don't know, up in the corner here, at SchaeferArt, you can find me on Instagram, Pinterest, I'm on Twitter, but I don't use it that much. And Twitter, it's actually Art Schaefer. It's actually backwards because somebody had SchaeferArt. I'm not sure who it was or why. But yeah, find me on Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. All right, I'm going to hit the... Yeah, what's the question?
Okay. Are you using Gray Matters brushes?
No, I'm using some cheap brand that I had laying around years and years ago. So yeah, they're just sable, what do you call it, artificial hair. But yeah, no particular brand or anything. I can't even remember the brand. I think I got them sent to me for free. I don't even remember.
Oh yeah, you did get those sent to me.
Yeah, it took me forever to do the review, but I wanted to make sure that they stood up to the test of time. But yeah, just some cheap brushes. What I've heard are the good brushes are the Escoda. I might get some of those eventually, but this year I'm not buying any more brushes. I'm kind of limiting myself, so.
Your posting is Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, right?
For now, yeah.
Well, but
Probably for the
end of the vlogs.
yeah, the travel vlogs. The travel vlogs I have up, they'll be going for the next 3 to 4 weeks probably. I'm not going to give an end date or anything. You guys have to just watch and see. But Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, those come out. So definitely stay tuned for those. All right, I'm going to hit these rocks here. I got to open up my reference photo back up. Let's see what... this looks pretty crazy, man. I don't know how this is going to turn out. Let me try to make this.
We got a couple more.
So now I got to focus on some rock shapes here.
Do you find paint watercolors more or less difficult than other painting media?
Do I find watercolors more difficult than other painting mediums? It's definitely difficult because, especially, man, it's hard for me to even answer these questions in paint because I'm just not used to it. So forgive me for that, guys. Just gotta focus here. But yeah, it's definitely more difficult because it's so unforgiving. Like once you put something down, you can't paint over it. It's like, that's it. Once it's down there, you can, even if you try to take it off, it's like, it's gonna be very difficult to do so.
What is your favorite brush to work with in your watercolors painting process? I'm guessing you kind of answered that.
Yeah, I mean, these two brushes that I use, this flat filbert, I wouldn't mind if it was just a regular flat, but I do love the round brushes I find, because you can get flat marks with it, but you can also get pointed, really sharp lines. So I'm probably going to get some more rounds in the future, I think.
Okay, question from Terry Gore. Can you dry it with a hairdryer on low, or do you need to be patient? I'm new at watercoloring, so I'm not sure if I can do that or not.
From what I've read of that, for drying with a hair dryer, it should be fine. You can dry with a hair dryer if you want to. I don't have a hair dryer handy, so I'm just being patient. And when when you're painting outside on location, you kind of just you're in the elements, so you can't bring a hair dryer with you or anything. So I've learned to just try to be patient. I think it's a good exercise to try to be patient, and so that's what I've read and heard from other artists. Like I don't think it does anything bad if you use a hair dryer.
April Pez says hi, and then again says hi.
Hello to anybody.
April would like to know if you have painting tutorials of paintings like this.
Not yet, but there's gonna be a lot coming out. I have some I have oil painting and acrylic painting from years ago, but watercolor is a very recent endeavor for me, as you can probably tell by this crazy painting I'm doing right now. But Yeah, it's, I mean, you know, it's slowly just bringing out these details and stuff, trying to get it. But yeah, I'm gonna be putting out a lot more tutorials soon and having fun with it, just playing around. But painting live like this is very challenging.
Hit the bell icon to be notified of new videos.
Yeah, be sure to subscribe if you're not, and hit the bell icon and be notified for future episodes. I'd appreciate it.
Lynn says hi from Massachusetts, I believe. I don't know my state abbreviations very well.
MA is Massachusetts.
Yep. That's right.
Hello to the person from Massachusetts. Lynn from Massachusetts. Thanks for tuning in.
Ooh, okay. Troll Mole. I can't.
That's fine. People will see their name in the chat. Well, what's their name, or what's the question?
She has been commenting a lot. Says working in thin layers and then every color have its own behavior, how it dries and how the color mixture forms itself on the dry paper. There's a question mark in there, but I'm not sure what the question is.
Like, does each color dry differently and stuff? I mean, probably. I don't really know. You know, I don't really take note with watercolor in particular, but definitely like with oils and stuff. You know, the earth pigments, the browns, they dry a lot quicker. But with oh man, just spilled my water. But with watercolor, yeah, I don't really notice, you know, a lot of difference. Man, this painting is going crazy right now.
You work in different thicknesses of layers though, right?
Yeah, I mean, you start out with, like, from what I've read and stuff, a good way to start out is like almost like a tea stain, and then move into more of like a milky consistency. But
And then finally like honey.
yeah, and then you can go thicker than that if you want, like a honey consistency and very dark and stuff. But I try not to go too dark because I like the transparency of it. Like, I feel like some of this is getting a little too dark. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff to worry about with watercolor. I'm trying not to overwork this right now. That's the challenge, because I can just sit on here all day and I'd overwork this thing. But I'm trying to get a sense of, just make it look like rocks.
Michelle Igg, are lead pencils fine to use for drawing, or should I invest in graphite?
I mean, it depends on what kind of drawing you want to get into. This is a question for lead pencils versus just graphite pencils, regular old pencils. You know, if you want to get real serious about drawing and do like more realism and really get into that, I would suggest getting like some, you know, a set of drawing pencils, graphite, that have different, you know, hardness and softness. I think that's a big deal for that. Hope that answers your question there. So yeah, I mean, it depends on your goal. So yeah, if you're looking to get more realistic, I would that's the way I would go about it. Man, this is, I don't know that it looks like a waterfall, but it's it's looking like something, I guess.
Ann Bornstein says, hi there from Australia on Monday morning.
Oh, yeah.
Colors are harmonious.
And I've seen her comment recently. Thanks for tuning in. From Australia?
Australia.
Yeah, cool, Australia. Yeah, I'm getting some harmonious colors here, but it's pretty chaotic. But it's definitely a challenge with these rocks and stuff.
This is not a question here yet, but you might want to explain what all the tiny little white dots on the actual photo you're painting are.
Oh yeah, those are all birds on the reference photo. I'm just ignoring those because that would be like a nightmare to paint. But yeah, those are birds.
It's a painting from
Some kind of,
on a day cruise.
yeah, we went on a day cruise in Alaska. There was all these nesting birds, some kind of gull. Can't remember the name, but it's pretty cool, man. The boat, they ended up taking us a lot closer. We went right up to it. But yeah, this is pretty cool. I figured it'd be cool to do a waterfall. Some people in the past have asked me to paint a waterfall, and what do you know, I actually have a photo of a waterfall to paint. So, although this is mostly like rocks and really annoying rocks.
Alright, Joyce Colton says, hi, finding this interesting. I love to sketch.
Thanks for tuning in, Joyce. This is a pretty weird painting, man. This is this is interesting.
Dally Cat says, do you have any motivation tips? I always want to paint, but when it comes to doing it, I've been off and on for years and can't seem to stay consistent in how often I paint or draw.
All right, motivation for painting. How to stay motivated, how to keep doing it. What did she say? She does it on and off?
Painting on and off for years, but can't seem to stay consistent in how often she paints or draws.
That's difficult, man. Everybody is so different when it comes to motivation and what their life is like. I mean, I'd probably need a little more context and details, like why you ended up quitting or why you fell out of it. But for the most part, I think you need to figure out why you're painting. So create some kind of goal. You know, for me, I try to do a few paintings every week, and I have a goal, and I try to, you know, try to achieve that goal. So I think it's, yeah, that's a tough one to answer because it's very personal, and it depends on what your life is like. I mean, I know people that have quit painting over the years, and it's because they had a kid, and then they, you know, they had to have a job, and they just kind of fell off. But that may not be your scenario or situation. So yeah, for staying motivated, I mean,
Make sure you're painting things you like and are interested in.
yeah, I mean, that's another thing, is like, make sure you're doing things you like, painting things that you enjoy. Otherwise, you don't want it to be a chore. That's the thing. A lot of people, I think, kind of don't think about. It's like, you know, if you don't like drawing, then do something else. Like, I mean, I think I like painting more than I like drawing, but there are times when I do enjoy drawing, or there's things that I enjoy drawing more than other things. So do more of what you like. Otherwise it's going to seem like a chore. And you know, I know when I'm fall out of painting, with oil painting especially, it's because there's so much stuff to pull out and set up and get ready just to even begin painting. And it's almost like going to the gym. You know, a lot of people are like, when you have to go to the gym, it's like you got to get in the car, you got to drive there, you got to mentally prepare, and people just, they don't want to do it. So, and then they end up, you know, they don't go to the gym because it's not something they really want to do.
There's that book that you read for a while about daily painting, and maybe that's something to consider.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a daily painting movement. There's a book called Daily Painting. You know, I don't know if it really has any tips about motivation or becoming, you know, painting every day, but it's a whole movement of, you know, doing small paintings like this every day and just getting out your stuff and getting into the habit of painting every day.
But Dally, I totally feel you. I struggle to write on a consistent basis, and I think you just gotta look at how stressed you are in life.
I don't know that they can hear you.
They can.
Oh, they can?
Yeah, I asked.
Oh, okay.
But
So I don't need to repeat the questions.
No, yeah, no. I made sure of that.
Okay, cool.
But
I just want to make sure everybody can hear.
stay at it. We believe in you.
Yeah, these rocks, man. I don't know about these rocks, but the water looks pretty nice, right?
It looks tropical.
These rocks are just...
If there weren't like 1,000 birds nesting, I'd want to go swimming. James Sunderland says hi from Russia.
Okay, I think...
Emoji with the hands going like this. Marley's art vlog says hi.
Hello to everybody just joining. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. I don't know, man. I feel like I want to do a different sketch. This one was just way too challenging. I was going to do something else, a different kind of sketch, and then this was the last, I kind of last second decided to do this one, and I'm a little regretting it, but that's okay, you know.
I like your painting. It is working nicely with the colors, giving life to the scenery.
Everybody's being too kind. This thing is a disaster. Come on, let's all be real.
Hugo Gertz.
Yeah, I know him. What's going on, Hugo?
I think the painting is pretty nice. You need to squint or see it from a distance.
Yep.
It's a little more saturated from the source image, but that is not necessarily a bad thing.
Yep, good points.
Michelle has another question. Another question I have is that I can never find inspiration to draw something from my imagination. Like I lean more towards trying to draw other people's drawings, and they turn out fine, but it's sad.
What was the question?
I think it's the question is finding inspiration that isn't just copying other people. How do you find inspiration to do something original?
I go outside. I look around my neighborhood. You know, I find parks near me that have interesting, you know, scenery or whatever. It depends on what you're interested in. If you're interested in portraits and stuff, you know, find people that you like. Find your friends and stuff, take photos of them, and then go and draw that. You know, I'm more of like drawing from life, drawing from experience, you know, that kind of stuff. So, you know, with like this kind of painting, there's probably 100 million waterfall paintings, but, and I'm sure people do have similar photos to this one because there was a lot more people on the cruise and stuff, but the odds that someone's going to have this exact painting in this exact location, you know, it's a lot less likely because this is from my own travels, my own, you know, it's from my own library. So that's what I kind of try to do.
Terry Gore says, ooh, the water is taking shape.
Yeah, the water looks good, but yeah, it's definitely hard to, I didn't realize how hard it'd be to watercolor paint and answer questions. This is something really new to me. So normally I can paint really well, but kind of talking or answering questions while doing it is super, but I'm not going to blame that. It started off pretty rough.
And Bornstein says you're getting there. April Pez says, wow, 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 I can't wait for those tutorials. That is so good.
Oh yeah, I probably have close to 20 videos that I need to do voiceovers for and stuff that I'm going to have tutorials for. And a lot of them, actually, probably 95% of them are plein air, if not 100%.
And a bunch are actually from our trip to...
Don't spoil it. Yeah, so a bunch are going to be from our travels in England. But you guys will see that. I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm not going to say any more on that. So you'll have to tune in, man.
Joseph Reed wants to know if we are still in Paris. We are back.
No, we were back from our trip. Our trip was in early August, so it took me like a month to edit all those videos. And yeah, that was pretty much all my time. This is the second watercolor painting I've done since I've gotten back from my trip. The first one was yesterday, so I've really been slacking, but now I'm trying to really get back to it. And see that? I mixed up a gray and I can't even remember what I was going to use it on, and then I put it in the wrong spot.
Speaking of which, Michelle says it's encouraging to see more practiced artists struggle like beginners do.
Yeah, I mean, not every painting is going to be good. You know, it's like, especially in a situation like this, you know, it's live on the internet, I'm answering questions, there's all these different variables. You know, it's almost no different than if I was outside and, you know, there's wind and the sun's beaming down on me, there's people walking by. You know, there's always all these variables that you have to, you know, play with and work around. So see, it's these subtle areas here that I just did that subtle gray that really softened in this dry brushing here. That I think that really is going to help bring it together.
Maruko says he would paint the values closer together in the rocks. Painter Brussels says not a disaster.
Yeah, the rocks need to be darkened, I think, a bit, and it's really going to make the waterfall pop more, I think, and it's going to bring everything together. Good point, man. I think you're right. I just haven't gotten there yet. I'm dancing around it a little bit.
Marika says, step away from the painting, close your eyes and look at it again. I think you will like it better later.
Maybe true.
Sorry, man, I do not know how to pronounce your name without vowels. Yes, about values. Try to look with the eyes partially closed, squinted.
Yeah, squinting. I know, man. You know how many videos I've made that say squint, man. You just gotta squint at stuff. I know, I was squinting.
Okay, we're out of questions.
But yeah, man, I'm working on it. Let's see. You know, I'm trying to like slow down. I'm paying attention to. I know my focal point here is this area, you know. So I'm trying to get things to work. I gotta soften this a bit. I'm trying to increase some contrast here, but I feel like it's gonna be overworked, I think. But you know, I gotta push through and just finish this thing anyway, so I can't quit. So I'm gonna keep a hard edge right there, and that's gonna keep. You know, there's other hard edges here. I think that's one. What are you laughing at?
Michelle says, in all caps, you have nice hands, by the way.
Oh, thanks. I've gotten that a lot. Got nice hands. I appreciate it, whatever it means. I'll take it.
He says, fantastic.
Yep. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
Joseph Reed says, must be frustrating answering questions and painting with an audience. I block out the world when I work and have to do it when the family is asleep or out.
Yep, so I'm focusing on this rock now. I'm trying to get that rock to... There we go. Yeah, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, you know, it's just I got to slow down here and focus on, get back to thinking of it in terms of creating an image, not copying the image, but, you know, get back to this focal area. And see, I forgot to lighten this up while it was wet.
Mitty Mouse says, multitasking exercises the brain. Try a live picnic table painting plein air sometime. I think you are doing fine. Enjoy the challenge. I think watching and seeing the original is educational.
Cool. That's my goal, man. I'm just having fun with it, sharing what I know, and anyway, go on.
And again, apologies to anyone if I'm pronouncing your name wrong.
Yeah, it's all good.
May Go Stevens says, LOL nice with 2 hand emojis. Terry Gore says, in all caps, hand modeling.
Oh, yeah. Hit me up if you know anyone.
Michelle says, yes, appreciate you watching this at midnight.
Oh, wow.
Also, I literally laughed along with you. I'm losing my mind. It's okay, Michelle. We're all crazy here.
Yeah, man. Everyone's nuts in their own way. Some are nuttier than others, I will say that, but, you know. All right, I'm gonna hit this with some just black. I'm gonna gray down, maybe a little bit of purple.
I woke up, little buddy.
Oh well, should be all right. So I'm gonna go over these rocks in some areas. I'm gonna darken down some of these areas, like trying to maybe over here and somewhere over here. I don't want to get. It's a lot more contrasty on video from what I'm looking at, but in real life it's a little bit more subtle. It's not as. But I think having this softness here really gives the idea of a waterfall. I think it's coming together. And those sharp lines really show that it's rocks, and they're moving. This waterfall is going down, moving around these rocks. So that's what I'm trying to get at here.
To everyone watching, Kitty just woke up and says hello. She says, feed me.
Yeah, well. I need like 5 cameras for them to see little buddy. Okay, let's see. Gotta be very careful here in what I'm about to do. And I'm gonna try to make broad strokes because I don't wanna overwork this too much or make it look, you know, I kind of want to bring back the freshness if possible. I don't even know if that's possible.
Got 34 people with us.
34. I don't even remember my record. I think it was like 60 maybe. If that, I don't even know.
Anybody else got questions?
No, they're just watching the master at work here, you know. I say that as a joke. This is not masterful at all.
Michelle says literally just took the biggest brush you had and swiped pitch black on there.
It's not pitch black. It's pretty light. Well, not pretty light, but it's getting there. But it's simplifying. You know, I darkened that whole area, and I probably need to do. And I'm trying to bring stuff together here, but I don't want to do that too much because, like you said, I don't want to ruin the color and everything. But the more gray I can add, I can makes the other color that's already on the canvas pop.
Brent had to take a call and miss the whole thing, but he says it looks great though.
No worries, man. It's always reruns, you know.
Oh, buddy.
Like we did as a kid.
Wants to come say hello.
No. Sorry, my cat's trying to climb up.
On the couch.
Cat's trying to climb up on the table, I think. She wants to sit on my lap.
Meg says, how long have you been doing watercolor? Sorry, I'm newish to your channel. This is awesome, by the way.
Thanks, I appreciate it. I started watercolor back... Technically, I started painting. When I started painting back in like 2009, 2010, I was using watercolor. I did that for about almost a year and moved on to acrylics. I didn't really like watercolor. And then this May is when I started using watercolor again. So since May, June. So I'm trying to darken this slightly.
Are the white specks on the rocks the birds you were talking about earlier? Yeah, they are.
Yes.
There were thousands upon thousands of birds because it was mating season.
Yeah, it was incredible. It was just an incredible experience.
Meg says it's 7s, by the way. I'm not 7 o'clock there, or
I have no idea.
maybe her name means 7s. I'm not sure. Michelle wants us to show the cat. We are going to once he finishes painting. She will.
Yeah, it's hard to show right now.
At least watercolor wouldn't be as difficult to clean off as like oil paint and fur. Jenna Marbles had that problem.
Oh yeah, I wasn't worried about her getting paint on her. I was just worried about her ruining the whole setup I got going. Well, this one is a mess, man. This is, you know, it always looks better once I take the tape off the edges. So, of course, I got a little bit of paint on the edge here. I can't get that off, but that's okay. If I ever frame it or something, it won't show up. Well, rocks are definitely something I need to work on. I know that for sure. adding in some little splatters.
Terry says the blue on the bottom right rock helped to bring that rock into focus.
Oh yeah, down here. Yeah, that really worked. I think I darkened too much over here, but that's all right. I mean,
oh, I don't know if they can hear me since I moved.
they probably can't hear you. Yeah, the rock down here really came forward, really helped. I need to bring this together a bit more or something. Yeah, I'm not really sure what else I can do to it to really, I think the splatters helped kind of with the looseness of it, make it look kind of like interesting or something, but ooh, smashed your finger?
Yeah.
Girlfriend just smashed her finger. I just lost my chat reader.
I ran underwater. Feels better.
The only thing that's bothering me is this stroke and this stroke. It's having this movement this way. I don't really like that. So I'm not really sure what to do about it other than
every painting is worth the effort,
down.
says Francine. Mickey Mouse says add some very light blues for Waterfall. Oh, my finger.
Yeah, I was gonna go on the waterfall here in a second, but I don't want to add too much. But I do need to add some kind of something here.
Carrie says, could you use a watered down bleach to put the white back into the rocks and the birds? And she says splattered bleach.
That's interesting.
You use gouache, white gouache, when you want to add white.
Yeah, I could use gouache. She was saying bleach?
Yes.
Wow, I never really thought about that, but yeah, I don't know if I really want to mess with bleach and all that, but that's an interesting take on it. I think you could I probably could do that. I think something here that's messing it up a little bit is this little area, because in the beginning here I kind of if anybody was watching the drawing, I changed the way the waterfall was going. I kind of put this, I set one area back a little bit to give it a little bit of variety. I think that helped.
Can you spell what he said?
Gouache.
Okay.
Gouache. Gouache, I believe. It's basically like, it's watercolor. It acts like watercolor, but it's more opaque, and it always can be reactivated. So if you re-wet it, you can paint back into it, more easily than watercolor. Doesn't really have that ability. I mean, you can lighten it slightly, but gouache, you can re-wet it and really rework it, I guess, kind of. Yeah, so that helped define and see, it actually makes these areas look more rock-like, I think, because there's sharper edges here, and then down at the bottom it's very soft. So that's kind of, I mean, that's what you want with the waterfall. So that's what I was trying to go for earlier. I just didn't get there yet. So I'm gonna try to add some very light blue or gray or something here to this parts of this waterfall.
He ran away. She wants out. Not gonna happen.
Yeah. So I don't add too much of this or anything, but
As soon as I said that, she walked back over.
I know. Okay, so I do this a lot, so when I put something down it looks too strong, I just use a damp, I wipe the brush off, and then I just take up some of that water, and see, now I get a very, very faint stroke. That's what I'm going for. And that's how you can get really subtle with the watercolor. At least that's what I try to do. So in that way, watercolor can be easier because you can get these values somewhat easily, and you soften edges somewhat easily. But for me to fix any of these strokes or anything, try to go over it anymore, it's just gonna be a mess. But I think it came together pretty nicely for the most part. I'm actually surprised with how it turned out. I don't know that I'm done yet. I feel like some of these rocks or something I could slightly darken, but I don't want to darken too much or anything.
Timothy McDougall says, "Hi, Brandon."
Oh yeah, what's going on, Tim? I messaged him today on Facebook and stuff. We were talking earlier, so glad that you're joining.
Okay, Troll Moan says, "Anybody painted with egg tempera? Egg tempera may be one of the oldest mediums for fine art painting, dating back to Roman Egypt and used by most of the great masters of the Renaissance. It has a special transparency."
Yeah, I've heard of egg tempera. I've never used it or anything, but I have heard of it.
I think your chat is up to date now, but I'll just keep reading while you're painting.
Yeah. Just getting paint everywhere. I'm gonna have to clean the table. Next time I'll put a big towel down. Yeah, I think that's it, man. I like adding a lot of splatters and stuff, and I think that may be it.
April Penn says,
If anybody has any suggestions though of anything else I could add to this, but I think I'm good. Anyway, go on.
April Penn says, "My sister wants to know what type of paintings would watercolor be best for."
What type of painting would watercolor be best for? Like what kind of genre? Like portraits, still lifes, landscapes? I mean, really, there's only so many different things you can paint. There's like portraits, still lifes, what did I say? Portraits, still lifes, landscapes.
Roll says, "Yes, very good to not passing the line of overworking." Timothy McDougall says, "Looks very good, maybe add a tree." Terry says, "Maybe define between grass and rock. Better define between grass and
Yeah, that's true. I could, But I do want to keep some of it soft because, there is some grasses and stuff on the rocks, and, it's just hard to know. It's hard to know, like, what to do. And see, this is getting a little too dark here. I don't want it to be
Do
too
you think that there is
dark.
a type of painting
Oh,
or
yeah.
subject matter that is best for watercolor, or that is too hard to do with watercolor?
No, there's really good watercolors out there. I mean, you can literally paint anything with watercolor. It's just how good are you at it. And I think it takes a lot of practice if you're going to do a portrait or something, and for it to be realistic. You literally have to think about every stroke before you put it down for it to be pretty good. But yeah, I think that's about it. I'm gonna take the tape off, and then you guys will see how this thing comes together. But man, it honestly, it looks way better in real life. I'm looking at it on the computer screen, and it looks
Terry said that
awful.
she
But
was thinking more on the right side where the light blue is by the green. I think for the grass.
light blue on the right here, over here.
Yeah, I think that's where she wanted more.
Oh, I see. Kind of where it's all soft. I might. I'm not sure that I want to mess with it any further.
But it was also a little foggy that day, so sometimes you can't see that.
Well, it's more of,
Although it doesn't in the photo.
yeah, it's more of, I want to keep your eye down here where there's sharpness and softness and contrast. And if I added more contrast up here, it's going to bring your eye up there, and like even these strokes are too sharp to me and stuff. So, when I look at it like this, look at it, it looks pretty good. I mean,
Yeah.
it came out pretty well. This is a pretty bold stroke. That's probably the boldest stroke in the painting, and it might be a little too bold. I don't know. It's I kind of don't want to mess with it too much.
Michelle wants to know if she can watercolor on simple sketch paper, and Cromon said that she needs thick paper so the water doesn't curve, or the paper doesn't curve.
Yeah, you
And
want thicker.
140-pound
Yeah,
watercolor paper.
yeah, 140 pound is good. You don't really need like 300 pound. 140 pound is good. I've seen people do watercolor on 100 pound, but 140 is kind of the standard. So I'm going to take the tape off now, and we're going to see if this thing gets any better.
And if you're somewhere with the Michael's craft store, check out their website. They frequently have at least 40% off a single item, and a lot of times 50% off coupons. So
I think most people know that, but yeah, I mean, there's coupons for Michael's and stuff, and usually the big box stores, you know, Hobby Lobby, you can get watercolor paper every week. They usually have like 40% off, and you know, you go in there, buy a big sheet, get 40% off of $5, you know, or a whole sketchbook. It's a pretty good deal.
Terry wanted to know if you could soften the edges on your bold spot. I think you're done. Not sure what bold spot.
Oh yeah, I did soften the edges around there.
I can't
Yeah.
see it very well from the couch.
Yeah, I softened it a little bit. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, if you spend more than like 20 or 30 minutes on a sketch like this, for me anyway, it's like it's getting an overworking territory.
Peaked around 45. Now we're at 37.
People?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, it'll get more views later on, so.
Ramon says, looking great, sir.
So I think it actually came together pretty well. I didn't think it would look this good, so I'm gonna call it a success, except for this spot down here that I accidentally dropped some paint on. But other than that, if you don't see that, it looks pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm surprised it got this far and came together this well. So I think really what ended up happening was when I started slowing down and I really worked on this focal point and adding, you know, bringing some areas together and bringing them forward, bringing the values together a little bit more. I think that helped. Obviously my color is way stronger than the photo, and I could have made it, usually a lot of the paintings I do are a lot grayer, but I'm trying to add more color and have fun with it a little bit more. So yeah, that's kind of where it ended up.
Michelle says it is so pretty. Terry Gore says just hold your thumb there, lol.
Yeah.
He says fabulous. Painterly brushes says great work. We masterpiece for you. Terry Gore says I do like it. Your sister Amanda says love it. Love the colors. Nailed the focal point. And then the little praise hands.
Or high five.
Well, there are two of them.
Yeah, no, it's either high five, it could be a high five or praise.
She said yay color.
Yeah.
Brent says, can you go in closer for a macro shot?
Oh, maybe. Let me see. Actually, this little remote control thing, I think I can focus. Uh-oh, let me see. There we go. So you can see the spontaneous splatters here. And I think they really add something.
Oh, back up to 45.
To me, anyway, they add something. But yeah, this is a kind of the close-up. I think the best part is the water. I think water is always so fun to paint. I think it really works well with watercolor, ironically. But yeah, rocks, I think I definitely need to... Rocks have always been my challenge with oil paint, drawing, any kind of art. Rocks are my like thing that I need to focus more on, because I'm a moron. All right, well, I think I can read the chat now myself, because I'm gonna...
Roland says need to get some sleep soon. Local time here in Sweden is close to 1 o'clock in the
Wow.
early morning. Thank you so very much, sir, and you too, Alyssa Nickham. Thank you. Wishing you all the very best. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'm gonna keep this in the lower corner for now, just so people can see the painting I did. And I'm gonna turn I'm gonna get turned on, son. There we go. I had to say that.
Buddy, people wanted to see you.
Oh yeah, there's little buddy.
Do you have anything to say to the people?
Well, she was just, you had her meowing.
I just stepped on your banana strings on.
Look, there's everybody. Don't be so angry. There you go. Look. No. You gonna meow? She's very mad. We'll leave her alone. We'll leave her alone. So now you guys can see, I think, with the painting smaller on the screen there, I think it really comes together. At least for me. I mean, it's very colorful, so that's kind of the one downside and upside to it. I could have gone with less color. And probably, normally I probably would have. If I was painting this from life, I would have gone way less color. That's a ridiculous amount of color. That's like Bob Ross, cheesy amount of color, you know. But I figured, let's have some fun. Let's do a lot of color on there, and that's where it ended up. But it's almost 4 o'clock here, so I'll probably stay on for about 10 more minutes here, checking out the chat now, and I'm gonna go outside and do some painting from life here in a second, or 10 minutes or so. Michelle, you get really anxious in school and your voice is very calming, so I like to listen to your videos while I do homework and stuff. I appreciate it. That's pretty cool. What are you anxious about in school? I mean, I was anxious in school too. I didn't really like school. It wasn't very fun. But I don't know if my chat is updating. Is it?
Yeah, mine is. I can update.
What's the last thing you got?
Terry Gore saying I can see it.
Okay, yeah. Okay, all right. My chat's updated. I wanted to make sure.
Yeah, no, I just checked.
Yeah, I think minimized, I think it helps. You know, when it's up close, you see all the details. You can see, you know, all the imperfections and stuff. But no, I mean, you get more of a sense of the whole. That's the important thing about squinting and, you know, looking at the photo reference and squinting at it. You see the values. It breaks it down. And you're just drawing more attention to what you're taking off. Hang it on the back. It's already like pulling it down, you know. Anyway. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I appreciate it. Hopefully I'll do more of these in the future now that I have this cool... I have a 2-camera setup using my phone. And it seems to work. It seemed to work pretty well, I hope. I hope it wasn't like very laggy or anything. And hopefully I'll get better in the future. And I'll do some less challenging ones until I get better at talking and painting at the same time. But here, I'll show you guys an exclusive right now. I always like to do this on the live streams for people tuning in. So this is my brand new sketchbook that I painted in yesterday. And this is the painting I did from life yesterday. It was of some pomegranates. And see the color, it's not super colorful. But I was painting it from life, and I was going with more realistic looking colors. And I found some, this is the same pomegranate trees and stuff that I painted last year in oils. And I'm probably going to go out today and paint them again because I don't think I was that successful with it. I think the color on the pomegranates could have been a little bit stronger. But they're not ripe yet, so they're not like super red pink. They're kind of this golden red color with a little bit of pink. But the color just came across really muddy, so that's something I want to work on. And you know, simplifying the chaotic greenery is very, very challenging, so that's something I want to work more on, is simplifying. And yeah, I think maybe the next time I'll zoom in more on just one pomegranate. That way I can focus more on leaf shapes and get a little more detailed, I guess. So there you guys go, an exclusive. I filmed this one so I could do a little paint through video of that and stuff, and you guys will see the vlog in weeks and weeks. You guys will see a vlog of that one. So definitely trying to do more vlogs. I'm having fun with it, man, just trying to do things differently. I'm gonna have some tutorials, have some vlogs, have some time lapses. I'm gonna be doing everything. So I'm gonna be trying to dominate YouTube with in the art world. I'm coming after everybody. I'm gonna upload more than everybody. I'm gonna be painting more than everybody, and I'm gonna have more variety of any video than everybody. That's my goal. That's what. So that's what I'm going for. I'm hungry, man. And I want to start doing some more collabs too, so that'll be cool. Hopefully. So anyway, let's see. What were you saying?
I typed it in the
Oh, okay. Yeah. Michelle says people and the noise. Yeah, I get that with school and everything, the anxious, all the people. And it's funny, when I was in high school in gym class, my heart rate would be like 80 or 90 beats per minute, and people were like, wow, why is your heart rate so high? But then when I got home and checked it, it was, 60, 70. It was normal. And I didn't realize I was in like a state of stress all the time at school, because it's just like something I didn't want to, I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to go to gym class or go to any of these classes and do anything. And yeah, it's a problem. The school system is a problem. Looking forward to your next one. You did well today. Thanks, I appreciate it. I think it came out pretty well in the end. It was I started out pretty boldly, and yeah, it was just, it was a mess, but I was able to control it, I think. I think in the end, maybe it might have been too much variety. All these little rock shapes and stuff. I should have simplified more, but what are you going to do? Just take that lesson to the next painting, so. All right, so I've been on for an hour and almost 20 minutes. I think I'll jump off here in about 3.5 minutes. I don't want to make a super long live stream, but thanks for tuning in, everybody. I appreciate it. If you have any any video suggestions for the future, let me know. I'm open to anything. If there's anything you guys want me to see, as far as, or you want me to see anything you guys want to see, like general stuff. You want me to paint buildings, you want me to paint this, like stuff I can do in my town, landscapes, stuff like that. I'm open to going out. Soon I'm going to be going to UC Davis and going around there and just trying to paint random stuff, buildings, people, bikes, all kinds of stuff. What's going on, Yvette? I'm gonna call you soon. I've had a lot going on. I'll have to tell you all about it. But we'll be in touch soon. Thanks for tuning in. All right, guys. I don't really have much else to talk about. Yeah, it's gonna be good to catch up, man. It's been way overdue, and I apologize for taking so long, but you know me, man. It just takes a while. Unfortunately. But yeah, I'm gonna get something to eat, and then I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna do some more painting here. We're gonna hit the sketchbook some more, and probably make another vlog video and stuff. But everybody stay tuned for the next travel vlog video coming out Tuesday. We're in England, and we're in London in that episode, so definitely stay tuned. Big things happening throughout the entire trip, but definitely stay tuned. I'll give a little preview. I'm going to be renting a car in England in the next episode, driving on the wrong side of the road, on the wrong side of the car. So yeah, crazy things, man, crazy things. I don't know that you were technically moderating, but you were unofficially moderating. Later, Andre, thanks for tuning in. Hope you guys had a good weekend, and hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. I know it's getting late there. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate the support. All right, guys, I'm going to go outside. I'm going to eat something, and I'm going to go outside in the real world and do some painting. I encourage you guys to do the same. Do some drawing, do some painting, whatever you do. Don't get discouraged. Just like this video today, man, things go wrong, and you have to just make the best out of them, you know. So yeah, just do what you do, man, and do it as best you can. Looking at it now, I should have darkened this up here, added more depth to the painting. See, there's always something I could have done. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, take care of yourself. Peace. Stay tuned for the next live stream, maybe next weekend or something, or weekend after. I don't know when. I'll try to schedule them in the future. But yeah, probably on the weekends. So stay tuned for the next episodes. Peace. Oh, and follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook, follow me on Pinterest, follow me on... I just got a Snapchat, add me on there. All that stuff. Check me out. Peace. I did. Shout out to my girlfriend for moderating.